Welcome to Algebra 1, Chapter 9, Section 2, Quadratic Functions. In our review, we will look at the vertex of each graph, pause this video, determine the vertex, and then restart this to check yourself. Our vocabulary word is symmetry. A figure has symmetry if the figure can be reflected over a line so the two halves match exactly. Attempt to draw the lines of symmetry on each figure, and then write the number of lines of symmetry that you believe exist. Pause the video and proceed. And then restart the video to see how you did. So how did you do? The first octagonal shape has 8 lines of symmetry. The second shape is not symmetrical at all, so there is no line of symmetry. And the parabola, which is the fifth, number 5, has 1 line of symmetry. Since the axis of symmetry is a vertical line in a parabola, it will have an equation of the vertical line where x equals a number. So using a and b from y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, we can identify the equation for the axis of symmetry. And the formula to do that is x equals negative b over 2a. Ready to do a bit of practice? Well, in problem number 6, a equals 1, as you see, and b equals 3. So our equation gives us negative 3 over 2 times 1, which is negative 3 halves. So your axis of symmetry will be where x equals negative 3 halves. For problem number 7, a equals 2, b equals a negative 2. So using your formula, you have negative 2 over 2 times 2. So your axis of symmetry is positive 2 over 4, or 1/2. For problem 8, your a is negative 2, your b is 4. Using your formula, you have negative 4 over 2 times negative 2, which is negative 4 over negative 4, which of course is 1. So your axis of symmetry is where x equals 1. You can then, when you substitute x equals 0 into the equation, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, you can determine when y equals c. By determining when y equals c, you can determine the y-intercept. Remember, that's when you have x equal to 0, you can determine what y is. That makes sense, because on the y-axis, that's where x equals 0. Between these two things, the axis of symmetry and the y-intercept, we can graph a quadratic function. So in short, what is the first step in graphing a quadratic equation? It's to find the axis of symmetry. And to find the axis of symmetry, we need to use the formula x equals negative b over 2a. Now in the example, y equals negative x squared plus 4x minus 2, your a equals negative 1, and your b equals 4. So go ahead and put that into your equation. You have x equals negative 4 over 2 times negative 1. So x equals negative 4 over negative 2, so x equals 2. That's your axis of symmetry. The second step is to find your y-intercept. To find the y-intercept, I'm going to let x equal 0. So I get y equals negative 0 plus 0 minus 2. So I know my y-intercept is negative 2. Now I can also find the vertex of the parabola. And I can find the vertex because it lies on both the parabola and the axis of symmetry. So all I need to do is to take that x equals 2 and put it into the original equation, and that will give me the vertex. So looking at this, I'm going to put 2 in the blanks, and I see that the vertex is 2, 2. If I wish to plot another point, which is always a good idea, I can use x equals 1. As you see here, that creates the point 1, 1. So we're going to plot the 3 points of the parabola we found. We're going to plot 1, 1. We're going to plot 2, 2, which we know is a vertex, and we're going to use the y-intercept of 0, negative 2. And then we sketch the parabola through the 5 points that are created from the 3 we know and their symmetry. Using that, we can sketch the parabola through these 5 points. When you're attempting to graph these are the questions you need to ask yourself. Which direction does a parabola open? What is the equation for the axis of symmetry? Solve it and determine what the axis of symmetry is. Determine the coordinates of the vertex by putting the axis of symmetry into the equation and determining y. Is that vertex a minimum or maximum? And then I would add to this at the very bottom, what is your y-intercept? From there, you will be able to graph approximately 5 points and create your parabola. One of the more common parabolas is the vertical motion model. This determines the height based on the velocity and the initial height and the amount of time that's passed of an object. Take a moment, pause this video, read the story problem. Did you determine your A, your B, and your C? Well, your A is a negative 16. Your B is a 64, and your C is a 5. First, let's use the vertex formula to find the value T at the t-shirt's maximum height. Then we'll use that information to find the H. So we determined that the t-shirt will reach its maximum height of 69 feet after 2 seconds. In order to determine the range of H, you need to know the minimum height of the t-shirt. The t-shirt was launched from a height of 5 feet. So the height of the t-shirt at any time is going to be between 5 feet and 69 feet. This determines the range. So the range of this function will remain between 5 and 69. That's the end of this video. Go ahead and do your lesson check and check off the boxes in your math success, and we'll discuss this further tomorrow.